Hello and welcome to the Useless Wisdom Podcast, the only place you come when you want to get your mind off of some dumb shit and onto some other different dumb shit. Last episode, we had a special guest interview where we had Ayo Kid Classic and Wesley himself, two artists on the rise that ended up stopping down. That feels like, I don't know, I think that was like 3 weeks ago, and we haven't recorded since.
That was 3 weeks ago?
That was 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And it's not like I've been busy or anything. I guess, we haven't had a new episode because Brandon usually comes down once a week, and he recently bought some boxing gear, like headgear and boxing stuff, like boxing gloves. And yeah, we've just kind of just been beating the hell out of each other until like 2 a.m. Yeah, no, I rocked his shit. All right.
He rocked your shit too. He made you throw up.
I knocked him out.
He made you throw up.
I made him throw up too.
And you
broke I knocked him out.
And you broke
He
your
was
knuckle.
on the floor. Cause I knocked his shit. I rocked his shit.
You want to talk about how you rocked my shit too?
No, we're not gonna talk about that right now.
Yeah, because you're gonna catch some allegations.
Yeah, well, either way, yeah, we've been doing that until like 2 a.m, and then neither of us have the energy or brain functionality afterwards to be able to record the podcast. And we refuse to do it first because as soon as he comes into the door, we lock eyes.
It's on site.
And yeah, it's on site. Before we even put the gloves on, it's like bare knuckle brawl. Our neighbor, he brings his whole family outside, sits the chairs down, and it's like he was having a family reunion last time he went outside and boxed.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying.
He doesn't.
He had like white picket fucking chairs.
White picket chairs.
Whatever you call those things, like
lawn
white
chairs.
Plastic chairs.
They're lawn chairs.
Okay, well, he had lawn chairs out there last time, and was just watching us, beat the fuck out of each other. I do want to say though, I have had an entire episode planned for a long time, and with it was the topics were very in depth, like philosophical topics that would entice emotion. Might not be the right type of emotion, but you'd have to stay logical for it not to turn into something that we don't want it to. But nobody, and believe me when I say nobody, is interested in recording it with me. I just don't know. I just don't think it's an episode that would be worthwhile to fly solo because I don't think it's right for me to be able to just spew out shit with nobody arguing against me. Maybe I'll find somebody, but probably not. Anyway, I forgot to say that we do have the one and only, apparently host of the podcast, sole host of the podcast. Apparently, I'm just a guest, according to most websites, but Jamie Schaefer's here with me today. Hey, look at that. Good work, Jamie, being the host of the podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're in college and you're going to be going back here within the next few weeks. You just had to get a COVID test to even go back, but what else are they doing to let you back to school?
Annoying shit.
Like what? They gave you a little goodie bag?
Yeah, they gave us a goodie bag with a bunch of masks, some, like, that stupid no-touch tool that I don't see myself using, and if I get fined for not using it, I'll probably just drop out. Hand sanitizer that's probably just, like, Bud Light in a bottle. And they set in place new regulations that are really stupid and just annoying. Like, so many regulations that, like, what's the point in even going back? You know what I mean?
Let's hear them. I don't know.
Well, that's where I was going, and then you fucking cut me off.
Well,
I'm the host.
You acted like you wanted me to say something, and I don't know what to say because I don't
Stop trying to take over my podcast. I'm the host.
Okay, sorry. Fuck.
Yeah, thanks. So, like, one of the regulations is there's only 2 people allowed in the elevator at a time. And that's a problem because the last couple semesters that I went, the elevator was completely crammed, like to the max. And there would still be a line of people waiting outside because the stair situation on that campus is just ridiculous. Like, when you go from like the PRT station, and for those of you who don't know, it's just basically like this little railway system that have stations all over the campus to, you know, keep us from riding the bus. It's a lot easier. It's nice. But you go to the PRT station, and then there's this massive hill that has like 100 fucking stairs on it that are the steepest stairs that I've ever seen in my life. I refuse to climb them. I did my first day there, and I was winded for 30 minutes after I got to the top. I can't do it. So everybody takes the elevator up to the 5th floor because that's like the level that's on top of the hill, and you can just get out and it's fine. But you know, them only allowing 2 people in the elevator is going to make like a massive line outside, and everybody's going to be, you know, fighting to get into elevators. And then on top of that, the PRT is completely closed. And their solution to that is to add more buses. But now everybody's going to be waiting in line for those buses and trying to cram into the buses. And we're not going to be able to like social distance or anything like that because everybody's going to be worried about being late to class and all that shit. Like when the rock hit the PRT last year and we had to ride the buses, it
wasn't
a
a rock, it was a boulder.
Okay, it was a massive boulder. But anyway,
smashed into the PRT, killed like 4 people.
It didn't kill anybody.
Oh.
Why? You work for the newspaper. You saw the article.
I don't work for the newspaper.
Okay. Anyway, so like the bus situation is going to be ass. And then apparently they sent out an email to the freshman class saying that most of the upperclassmen's courses are going to be moved to online so they can be on campus and have their college experience, which isn't going to be a college experience at all because like the rec center's closed, most of the dining halls are closed. Nobody's going to be able to like talk to each other basically. You know, you got to social distance the whole time and wear a mask and all that shit. And there aren't going to be any football games or sporting events or anything like that. So you can't really do anything except be in your dorm and like go get food, and that's it. So there's going to be no college experience at all. And they still haven't lowered tuition, even though all the stuff I just mentioned is what they use our tuition for. It's kind of shit to me.
Interesting that you bring that up because I have a lot of stuff to say about that. Brandon's trying to talk me into making it into a video because he's very he thinks the video will blow up, but you know that the cost of tuition now at a state college, the one that I did the math for was 26,000, 28,000 a year. It actually adds up with interest and everything, and assuming that you're not going to find a job after until like 5 years afterwards, depending on what field you go into. And plus, when you get into that field, you're going to be an entry level, so you're not going to be getting paid very much. But assuming that, it's impossible to pay back your tuition. I'm not going to go too far in depth with that, but that's just something to sit and make you think.
Yeah, you better not have this conversation with me because I'm like ready to drop out right now.
Exactly why I'm pacing myself here. I haven't made the video yet, so I'm not going to go in depth with it. But
yeah, you wait. You make the video, and then I'm gonna be a college dropout.
Well,
I'll just move to OnlyFans.
Well, you don't want to do it. We already talked about it.
You didn't have to bring that up.
You don't want to do it.
I said I want to do it, but I don't want to do it in the way that you want me to do it.
Well, I just wanted you to let me do the marketing because, you know, I'm on that
Yeah,
shit,
and then
dude.
you said the way that I wanted to do it is impossible for me to do because I don't look like a plank.
Well, yeah, there's only one Bella Delphine.
Brian, I don't want to be Belle Delphine.
Yeah, I know exactly, and you know, she is the perfect anime character. Okay, she can play any character because of her body type. Okay,
She
shouldn't have
dresses
boobs,
like
shouldn't have an ass.
she dresses like a child.
Yeah, she's got that
She
appeal.
appeals to
You have to you
pedophiles.
have to find, and she doesn't do nudity either. So you have to find your niche in OnlyFans. You have to figure out like, okay, this is my body type. What niche do I want to go after
What
that
would
allows me to do this body type?
what would you even say my body type is? Because I think I'm a plank situation except for up top.
Well, you, you got some massive knockers.
Okay, and when you look at anime characters, what do they usually do?
Well,
Thick
you
thighs
would have to
and
go like that orange haired girl off of Bleach,
I don't watch Bleach.
Osame or Osamane or whatever. You'd have to go after that sort of.
Brian, that would not be hard to do. Most of like the female anime characters that they draw have like thick thighs that they stuff into stockings and huge tits.
Yeah.
So
You might
that's
be able to go after that niche. I'm just saying.
oh, but
The only thing is like you don't have to do nudity,
I wasn't
obviously.
planning on it.
And if you went uh a certain route, um you'd have to do no face. But if you went to cosplaying route, you could probably, you know,
That's what I want to do. But I'm interested to see what people would say. So, you guys listening, why don't you tell us what you think my niche should be on OnlyFans? Because I want to
'cause you
know.
could just do feet pics.
My feet are fucked. You don't want this problem.
Another thing I wanted to bring up because we were talking about this college COVID stuff. And I don't know if it's just because TikTok isn't a like US based company or what, but I've been seeing uncovered videos on there about like what's going on with COVID now. Like I've seen officials owning up to forging COVID cases for government grants and all that stuff. Like I talked about it on the episode with Ayo, um, and the conspiracy clip that I took from that kind of blew up on Facebook.
Do you hear him out there?
Yeah, I hear the fucking little dog shit out there. Little, I don't know. Don't get a puppy. Probably get about a year old.
It's still like technically a puppy.
Well,
It's
we
just a
got
big
a
boy.
6-week-old puppy, and he just will
He's
not
not
shut up.
6 weeks. He's 12 weeks.
When we got him, he was like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that, and he has been a handful and a half. But either way, on TikTok, again, I don't know whether it's because it's not a US based company or what, but I've been seeing uncovered videos on there about what's really going on with COVID. Like I've been seeing videos of like officials owning up to forging COVID cases for government grants that they get for treating COVID patients and admitting to marking COVID deaths to people who died in like car accidents from cancer, other things like that, that just make the numbers so much worse than what they actually are.
Well, the last time that was here, for you guys listening, my friend works in one of the local hospitals around here, and he was talking to her about this stuff, and she just openly said like there would be somebody that came in for like a car accident or something and they died, and she said that most of the time that they just mark it as a COVID death rather than what actually caused the death, so they just you know say that everything is a COVID death so they can get the money that comes with having like a COVID patient at the hospital.
Yeah, and we're gonna bleep out her name there because we don't want to get her in trouble, Jamie.
There are like thousands of that's like a big
Stop fucking saying her name. All right? I don't want to have to do a shit ton of editing on this. Damn. You're pissing me off. Anyway, an example that I had for this was, would be like Texas or Florida having a false death spike in July because they were counting like multiple months of deaths using that for their July numbers. So it's like, oh, well, there's so many more deaths and cases because of Florida opened its beaches. I'm not sure when that happened, but I just remember
Florida
hearing
opened
a
their
lot.
Florida opened their beaches back in like May.
Really?
Yes.
Well, either way, it was like, oh my God, there's this huge spike. And it's like, no, not really. But I've been toying with the fact whether that's actually a bad thing or not. Um,
What, a spike in cases?
no, them forging the numbers or whatever.
Well, when
Like
they forge
hospitals are basically forced to, but if you're curious, we talked a lot about it last episode with AO, so you know, get your information from there or just look it up yourself. Gee whiz. Um. Anyway, yeah, I've been toying with the fact whether or not it's a bad thing that they're forging those numbers because if people are if they're instilling mass hysteria into all these different like all these people, it's forcing more people to be like, oh shit, man, maybe I should wear a mask. I don't want to die. So if they just said, oh, it's not that bad, how many people are gonna be wearing masks?
there's not a lot of people wearing masks now.
Well, we're kind of lax here, you know.
It's not just our state that's having the people refusing to wear a mask. You know that, right? It's every state. There's a bunch of anti-maskers that refuse to do it.
Well, we seen a person in Petco get kicked out the other day,
Yeah, and she also threw a fit about it.
but she still got kicked out.
Yeah, and she threw a fit about it. That's not going to change the fact that she's not going to wear a mask anywhere else.
Well, speaking of that, that how she, this girl walks into Petco. She has her 2 kids. They're under like 9 years old or whatever. And this guy comes up and he's like, you're going to have to wear a mask or you can't be in here, something along those lines. And she's like, my kids are under 9. They don't have to be wearing a mask, whatever else. And then he's like, well, I'm talking about you. You're not wearing a mask, you fucking old bitch Karen. And, you know, she kind of, threw a little bitch fit and then left. But I looked it up, and you want to know why? That if
Because
you're
they
under
say
9,
because they say that kids can't transmit COVID, but I think that
this is the exact thing that they said, right? I was thinking, you know, exactly like kids can't get it or transmit it or whatever. But then when I looked it up, it says that COVID spreads rapidly through droplets traveling through the air when people cough, sneeze, or talk. Doctors say the lungs of children under 9 are typically not strong enough to generate large droplets to spread the disease. They say a mask is also not effective if a child is routinely touching it. So at the age of 9, we'd expect most kids would be able to developmentally keep a mask on and not touch it all the time. And this is said Dr. Alex Eldward, an infectious disease specialist with Washington University. Then there are kids who are older than 9 who are probably going to be generating deeper coughs and more forceful aerosol.
okay, but so they're not saying that they can't transmit it. They're just saying, oh, they probably can't have, the lung capacity to cough hard enough to spread the droplets or whatever. But those same kids, that woman came back in with a mask with those kids. And those 2 kids are one of the few that came up to us and asked to pet Zuko, like our puppy. And those kids were sitting there talking to me and they're like, we just got back from a summer trip to Myrtle Beach. And I'm like, excuse me?
That was the same woman?
Yes. So she just brought her kids back from Myrtle Beach. And she says that they're under 9. But those kids looked pretty large for under 9. And they're telling me that they just came back from Myrtle Beach, which a bunch of kids from our county came back from Myrtle Beach and they tested positive for COVID. And these kids are now within my vicinity without a mask on. And one of the kids started coughing. And I'm like, no, we can't do this. See, like, I'm wearing a mask because, it's meant to catch my droplets and prevent me from spreading it if I have it.
Does underwear cover a fart?
Brian, a fart is... Oh my God. Stop. You know that argument is shit.
It's still funny as fuck.
Okay, but it's shit.
You just didn't think that was funny at all?
No, because I've heard you say it so many times. If your fart's fucking wet, your pants catch the shit droplets that come out.
Well, sometimes it just slides down your fucking leg.
That's your problem.
Sorry. I mean, okay. So, but besides all that, back to the mass hysteria bullshit. You've heard the stuff about um Trump slash the U.S. considering banning TikTok. Like they're in the process of debating and hearing um banning TikTok.
Okay.
And just to make sure that this wasn't some bullshit that you see on social media, I looked it up and they're actually hearing it right now. There is a hearing going on happening right now that for banning TikTok. And then
Go ahead, say it a fourth time.
they're considering banning TikTok in the US slash Trump. Okay. So anyway, they say that it's because the Chinese are spying on our country and individual personal profiles on TikTok is the medium, all this other stuff, and that's supposedly why the U.S. wants to ban it. And like I just said, I just read an article and saw Trump talking about it. Um, Trump's advisors will be making a recommendation to the president later this week. This week.
See, I have a lot of problems with that. For one, China, getting data or information on our country off of that app. Everybody that's on that app.
Pokemon Go.
Okay, but
Same thing.
everything that I see on that app is just complete nonsense. Like if they want to see, 13-year-olds in a bikini doing a TikTok dance, like what information are they going to get from that? And it's just a bunch of
Well, it
kids.
grants them access to your phone. Granted, that is
Okay, but what are they going to get? They're going to
a bunch of kids masturbating.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to find kids, going into YouTube and typing in big boobies or some shit like that. Like they're not going to get much. And
Well, it depends whose phone it gets on.
most people that are our age and under don't have the mental capacity to have anything that will bring down the government, okay?
Yeah, but Trump downloads TikTok on his phone because he I don't know, he does touch children, so I suppose that
So they're going to see him.
he's our country's best, Jamie.
Oh, yes, he is the best of our country. No, but also I think the government mainly wants to ban TikTok because
Well, don't talk about the conspiracies yet. I know what you're about to say, but don't talk about them yet because I first wanted to say that oh yeah, look at me like that because I stopped you. All right, whatever.
I'm the host.
Fuck off.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah.
You get off my
You-
podcast.
shut up, you virgin.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't think that they can actually ban TikTok. Like, let's say that the hearing goes through and they want to ban TikTok. I don't think they can actually ban TikTok because, I mean, they could take it off the App Store, which would be difficult for iPhone users because, you'd have to jailbreak your iPhone and go through all that stuff just to be able to download TikTok.
I could just
And
get
if
a
you already
torrent.
had TikTok downloaded, that might not be a problem. If you don't have it now, you probably aren't going to get it.
CEOs of maturity over there.
Well, I mean, I downloaded it, so fuck.
No, the people that don't have it think that they're just the most mature people out there.
You're not wrong about that.
I know, because I was one of those people, and now I'm like, fuck. Oh, but speaking of TikTok, while I was working today, there was this 13-year-old girl that had blue hair on the bottom part, and she was in a bikini doing a TikTok dance at the public pool.
Recording herself?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
it's widespread.
It makes me, angry. And then we saw that, and my coworker said that when she went on vacation, she saw a bunch of girls in the middle of a highway doing a TikTok dance. And I think that shit needs to be stopped right now. Like that's
Okay,
an act,
boomer.
that's an act of terrorism in my eyes, okay?
Okay, boomer.
I'm younger than you.
All right. Whatever you say.
Shut up,
But-
you virgin.
Anyway, what I was saying with like TikTok can't really, or the US really can't ban TikTok because the way that I see it is, let's say they ban it to the max extent that they can, right? Take it off the app store. Uh, they block the servers, and you know, so even if you go onto it on your computer, you can't connect to the website. Um, it anybody who has access to YouTube can watch a YouTube video on how to like root or jailbreak their phone and get TikTok on it, and get a solid VPN, and then be able to watch TikTok. I mean, obviously there's more steps to be able to use the TikTok now, but I mean, like if you want to use it that bad, you're going to be able to use it. And again, it might not even be that difficult. You might just have to download a TikTok on your phone, or download a VPN on your phone to be able to watch TikTok. You might not even have to jailbreak it or root your phone or do whatever. Yeah, it just seems kind of stupid to me. But talking about conspiracies, what were you gonna say? Because I feel like we're gonna say the same thing.
I think that the main reason that the US government wants to ban TikTok is because compared to most other, social media, it's one of the less regulated ones when it comes to like hate speech, obviously, that being one of them, and like political views and shit like that. So you see a bunch, if you're on TikTok, you know that you see a bunch of like BLM protests and like stuff against Trump and allegations and a bunch of
I
other
see
stuff.
nothing against Trump. I see all pro-Trump.
See, I see I see a lot of like anti-Trump and a bunch of like this other stuff because we're on two different like sides of TikTok. But anyway, like all these people are posting this stuff and they're gathering a bunch of information and collaborating with each other to try to like, I don't want to see demonized or anything, but like, there's so
Find
many
the truth.
Find the truth. Yeah, they're trying to sift through like information that they get from the media, which is obviously contorted into like oblivion for entertainment value. But they can't regulate what's being put on TikTok right now because it's not a US app. So their lack of control there is making them uncomfortable because they can't control what's being said about the government or any of that stuff. And they're like, we need to shut that shit down. This is an election year.
I feel like the Wayfair thing was the last straw. They're like, damn, they're really getting to us now.
Yeah,
Fuck.
the whole trafficking thing.
Yeah. I honestly still think that was just total bullshit. That was probably just.
Well, I went on Wayfair and like when this stuff first started blowing off and before they took those things off the website, they took them off the website for one. But like you could go on Wayfair and look up like these cabinets and there would be two of the same cabinet, like same picture and everything. And one would be like $160 for this industrial grade cabinet. And then this like right next to it would be this picture of the same cabinet with a different name and it would be like $40,000.
And they were saying that the different names were actually the names of girls who have gone missing.
So it wasn't just girls, but like the name of the cabinet, like the item on the website would have like Brianna something cabinet for $40,000 or like the last name of somebody, and then they would find these missing posters that would have the same name. So they were like, well, these are the two of the same cabinets, and one's $160 and the other one is $40,000, and the one that's $40,000 has the same name as somebody that was on a missing poster. So they were like, well, these people are missing and this has the same name. So are they finding a way to sex traffic or, something by having these kids in these cabinets, and whoever buys them is sent like the cabinet with a kid in it? And then after all of this stuff, like all of this conspiracy came to light or whatever, Wayfair pulled the products off of the website.
Well, what else would be the appropriate response? Because they said, "Oh, these are industrial grade products. That's why they're that much money, right?"
Yeah,
So,
but like there was a hole in that because like the same cabinet was mm, significantly cheaper than the other one, and they were the same cabinet.
so do you believe in it?
Something was fishy about that because there's like,
Well, I mean, it could just be like, "Oh, well, we double listed products on accident." You know what I mean? So it's like, when you're making a website that has that many fucking products, as Wayfair does, or like Walmart. I'm
yeah,
sure you
but
could probably go on Walmart and find the same shit. I mean, granted that was a bit fishy, and
well, and
Walmart is more like Amazon where any company can post on it, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah, but like that whole situation was just odd because it wasn't just the cabinets that they had. There was like other things on there. Like I saw throw pillows or curtains that would have the same issue, like the same thing, where this throw pillow would be $5, and it would just be like normal name and everything, and then there would be another one for like you know $30,000 that was the same picture and all that. So it wasn't just like I could see it being a mistake if it was one cabinet set that was like that, but it was like a whole line of different things that would have the same thing. So like, one mistake is one thing, but like hundreds of mistakes is something different. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I've coded websites before. But I have never coded, a website that intense. But, you can mess up one thing on like one line of code in this like 100 million thousand quadrillion lines of code, and then the whole website just not work because
Yeah,
you
but
forgot to put a slash before, or after the script,
yeah,
right?
but is it
But
possible to mess up something like
I don't know. But I mean, like, if you can just like forget a comma or forget a slash, and the entire, you know, website
yeah, but
fuck
that's
up,
like
I'm sure that that has something to do with it because I'm sure that the Wayfair is
yeah,
custom coded, not used like WordPress, WooCommerce, or
yeah,
something like
but
that.
going back to what they said that, oh, this was an industrial cabinet and that's why it cost so much. That doesn't say, oh, we made a mistake in the coding. And
Granted, yeah, you're right.
so like they didn't say that it was a mistake in the coding because I would have bought it if they said that, but they just said this is an industrial cabinet, not
And they don't sell it anymore.
yeah,
So
and they pulled it off. They pulled all of those products off. They didn't say that it was a mistake in the coding. That's what I'm saying.
have you looked any further into it to see if they're having a court case?
I haven't seen anything further, but I saw a bunch of people saying that all those people that were on the posters were found, but I don't know, like, if they were found before any of that stuff happened or whatever.
That's
Because it would be
fair.
different if they found those people, like, after those cabinets got pulled off the website and they were like, oh, fuck, now we got to release these kids. Send them back out in the public. Somebody will
That would
find
be
them.
even more fishy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, like, I don't know. I haven't looked much further into it, but it was just like a whole weird situation. But speaking of other like weird shit on TikTok, have you seen like the murder scenes that are on there right now? It's really unregulated to the point where somebody like killed their friend and they were like, have you guys ever seen a real murder scene before? And then they had that one Doja Cat song playing and they panned all the way around their house and there's the dead kid sitting in the corner, like literally had like a knife in him, and there was blood all over the house and like an obvious sign of struggle and a bunch of other shit to the point where it couldn't have been planned unless you knew like what an actual murder scene looked like. And then there's like people boiling cow heads and like sticking tiny animals into syringes and crushing them to death and a bunch of like it's really fucking weird right now. And that stuff hasn't been taken down.
Well, now you got me curious. Oh, this is like a YouTube video. I doubt it's gonna be on YouTube. Well, there's a video here that says we make a fake murder scene in our hotel room.
No, this was like somebody's residence. And I looked it up and there was nothing being said about it. So, I mean, it could have been fake, but like I took, forensics last semester and
So you're an expert?
I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but like something that's obviously like fake and staged, you can kind of get a gist. There were so many things that were in that video that was like y-
Consistent throughout the board?
what?
Consistent throughout the board?
Yeah, it was like minute details that like if you were faking something, you'd be like, well, nobody's gonna notice this anyway, so we can just leave it. Like all the stuff that was in that video made me think that it was real.
Well, I've seen a lot of people posting about like putting a fly in a
In a syringe. That's one
in
of
a
the things I was talking
syringe
about.
and then taking gum and putting over top of it and then creating a vacuum chamber.
Yeah, well, and then one of the things that they were also talking about was a video that you saw the other night where the guy took the cockroach and made like a rocket and shot it up into the air. Like there's a bunch of weird shit going on right now and it's not being regulated.
Well, that might have something to do with why they want to ban it, but I've also saw I, basically the only thing I see on TikTok is conspiracy theories. And one of the things that I saw was, well, it's an election year
Yeah.
and they're finding information out about the candidate.
Yeah, that's what I said before.
And they don't want that.
Yeah, because they can't stop him from saying that. It's not their
Yeah,
platform.
and another thing that I saw that I didn't have any strong feelings about it, but it was like, all right, guys, so if we look at the address on SpongeBob SquarePants license, did you see this video? Okay, well, it was like if we look at this and look at the address on SpongeBob SquarePants' license in that video where he got his, or in that episode where he got his license, and we go on Google Maps, it takes you to uh, Jeffrey Epstein's island that they were talking about, and it lands you right here. There's actually a place on it called Bikini Bottom, and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't. Can that be a coincidence that was in, you know?
That sounds weird, but I don't
I mean, I don't fully believe it, but that's probably why I didn't have any strong feelings about it. But I don't know. Creator of TikTok fucking underage women. You see it?
No.
Be weird if the creator of TikTok was a girl, wouldn't it?
I don't know who the creator of TikTok is.
Not creator of TikTok, SpongeBob. Creator of SpongeBob.
Well, he's dead, so
Yeah.
it's a little late now.
Yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, I think we're gonna end the episode here. It's getting really hot in this room, and these lights are not helping very
Did you
much.
not have any more?
No, I wanted to make it a short episode because again, we keep recording like the day before because then I'm like, oh, you know what? I might as well record one. It's been 3 fucking weeks since I released an episode. So, we will see you guys in the next one. Maybe I can get somebody. I have this really long episode plan like I said, and nobody will do it with me.
We don't want to be
Nobody.
we don't want to be
No, you can't.
associated with it.
I'm the one that's going to be the devil's advocate, so I don't understand what the problem is.
It doesn't matter. It's guilty by association.
All right. Well, either way, I feel like that video would probably just pop off.
Not in a
I
good way.
create it into clips, put it on Facebook, YouTube, it'd probably just pop off, but nobody will do it with me, so we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you're listening. And I am really curious. I look at my analytics on the platform I use, and it tells me that most of the audio listeners are coming from other. Like you got Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast. but the majority, like over 50%, it's like 70 some percent. No, it's not 70 some percent. It's like probably like 62% or something saying that it's coming from other, and I just don't know where that's at. So, let me know where you're listening to this from, because maybe I need to focus on whatever platform that is more, huh? But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new, or follow if you're new. Peace.